Now, the LPGA Commissioner, Craig Kessler, met with the media with some more big announcements over the last couple of days. Amy Rogers, you are going to join us now. Tell us a bit more. What did you find out?
Hey there, Anna. Yeah, that's right. For the first time as LPGA Commissioner, Craig Kessler met with the media today for the Tour's annual State of the Association. And he spoke to a packed media center, not just the media here on site covering the tournament this week, but also a slew of LPGA executives were standing in the back of the media center to show support for the new leader of the LPGA. And he outlined some of the priorities. He came prepared with a graphic. He called it the flywheel, which showed what they will be prioritizing in his early time here as LPGA Commissioner. Those included focuses on improving the tournament broadcast, looking at the tour's schedule, and focusing on stars and personalities within the LPGA. Now, I had a chance to speak with Kessler after his press conference to dive a little bit deeper into some of these topics, and I asked him what he would say is the current state of the LPGA. I asked him what his priorities are now, having announced some of the big changes to the broadcast that will be coming. And I also asked him about a new addition to the schedule, which will see an event sponsored by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia as the presenting sponsor of that event. But first, I wanted to hear from Kessler about how he would assess his first 100 days as LPGA Commissioner.
Let me start by saying how thrilled I am to be a part of this organization. It's made up of an incredible group of people who care deeply about our athletes. And the athletes have shown up. What a remarkable season we've had this year. 11 first-time winners representing countries from all across the globe. 120 days in, I'm very proud of the progress we've made. Yesterday we had a seminal moment announcing that next year 100% of our events will be live on the Golf Channel. The quality of that broadcast, thanks to our partners at FM and TrackMan, will be better than ever before. Also particularly proud of an event next year that will co-sanction with the LET backed by Golf Saudi at Shadow Creek. I think we're off to a pretty good start.
You just mentioned that major announcement yesterday, but it feels like there's still so much work to be done at the LPGA. What do you shift your focus to next?
Well, executing on everything we announced yesterday is priority number one. Making sure that our fans fall in love with the enhanced broadcast that they see next year. We're all over that. And then, in addition, bringing the connection between our fans and our players to even higher heights. Leaning into a couple of our global superstars, making sure that boys and girls and men and women have a chance to be inspired by these athletes. That's an area we're going to spend a lot of time.
The schedule was released today as well. One of the changes to that schedule, that new edition of that LET event, the co-sanctioned one you just mentioned, that's sponsored by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. How would you describe the LPGA's current relationship with the PIF?
Well, first of all, let me start with the fact that we've been in a very close relationship with the Ladies European Tour for quite some time. And the Ladies European Tour has collaborated with Golf Saudi for quite a while. In fact, if you look at their schedule, the 5 events with the biggest purses are all backed by Golf Saudi. We couldn't be more excited to now be a part of that ecosystem and work collaboratively both with the LET and with Golf Saudi.
Do you see this leading to a larger relationship with the PIF going forward?
Like with any partners, if we come out of the gate strong and the start of our partnership gets off to a great start, it opens up a world of possibilities for us.
How would you describe the overall current state of the LPGA?
Very optimistic. If you walk around the clubhouse, any of our tournaments, there seems to be a very positive vibe and a positive buzz among players, caddies, their families, their coaches, certainly among our staff. I know we're really excited for the upcoming season, and hopefully this momentum continues for a long time.
The LPGA's 2026 schedule was also released today. There weren't many changes from this past season. There'll be 32 events plus the Solheim Cup. Just a slight increase in the total purse over the course of the season. They'll play for just over $132 million in total prize money. And keep in mind that Kessler really only just took over in July. So much of what was already laid out in the schedule for this year was already in place in the months and years prior to his tenure. So it'll take a little bit more time for Kessler to really get his hands on shaping the schedule in the coming years. But once he's able to do that, he said that he would really like to ramp up the schedule to be able to create a little bit more drama. That, of course, is in an effort to be able to get more fans invested in what's happening out here on the LPGA Tour. He wants them to be glued to the action as they come to this final event of the year, hanging on every little point to see who might win here at this final event of the season. So Craig Kessler taking some early action here, laying out a lot of plans and a vision for what he hopes to see at the LPGA Tour in the years to come. Anna.
Thank you so much, Amy. We'll be back with you all throughout this week. I have to say, the last couple of days and the announcements that we've heard from Craig Kessler, I think the world of golf is just giving him a huge pat on the back. What he's been able to achieve in such a short space of time is just so exciting. He has a business brain, he understands the product, and he is bringing people in and getting big investors. FM is huge. Brandel, what do you think the impact of the elevation of this product that we're going to see in the broadcast now is going to have on this tour?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, if we were to sit around and talk about the 10 best days in the history of the LPGA, I mean, we'd have a nice debate, no doubt. But I'd make the argument that maybe the 3 best days in the history of the LPGA are when they founded the LPGA, when they hired Craig Kessler, and yesterday. I mean, the announcement yesterday of every round being live, more cameras, more mics, drone coverage, TrackMan finally to dive in deep and be able to tell these stories in more granular detail and tell the best stories. And in the interview today, and you got the sense of it with Craig when he started talking about the flywheel, and the flywheel is essentially this circle. It starts with a better product, which means better production value, better cameras, better able to tell the story, to get fan engagement, to get a better audience, a bigger audience, to more throughput with the audience, which leads to more sponsors, more money. That more money then is directed back into making the LPGA better. I think all with the goal of putting the women in the best possible place with the best possible stage to elevate the game, tell these great stories. In my view, and I had the privilege of playing yesterday in the Pro-Am with Craig Kessler along with Yelimi No, and it was a wonderful day. In my view, there should be a TPC equivalent, TPC LPGA, designed specifically for the best women players in the world, to have all the bells and whistles, all of the metrics built into the design, with the biggest purse on the biggest stage. Call it whatever you want, the LPGA players, anything you want, but that should be the premier tournament. And he gets that. I mean, his energy, his intellect, his leadership skill, they've all been, I think, on stage for the last 100 days. And I really can't say enough about how great the news was yesterday for the LPGA Tour.
I think it was great for everybody. You know, being an ex-player, it's fantastic, obviously, for players, but it's amazing for us and the broadcast team as well. We can tell them stories better with the technology, with TrackMan, with the extra cameras. I mean, for me, my biggest thing with Craig is, straight off the bat, I like the guy. That's not an easy thing to do with me. Sometimes I can, as you know. But I think the thing for me is the buy-in from the players. You know, you've got 150, 200 athletes out here. And I said to him when I first met Craig, I said, your biggest job you're going to have to do is try and keep the majority of those players happy. These players adore him. You know, his staff adore him, his colleagues, the relationships he's got with these massive companies, coming in and you know, pouring money into the LPGA. I mean, he's done that in such a short amount of time. I mean, that is a huge credit, not just to him, you know, from a business standpoint, but him as a person as well, as a human being. And I've always been a big believer, look, if you build it, they will come. And finally, the LPGA now is going to have the visibility that they deserve.